Welcome back to this Let's Play of the original official campaign for Neverwinter Nights 2. Last time we visited Aldenon's mansion, but he wasn't there. He had wandered off. No, actually he'd been kidnapped. Well, we assume he'd been kidnapped. His staff stated he was kidnapped, and his staff also told us that he had found out something important about these silver shards. Apparently there's a group of nobles who had another one of these silver shards, and they've all been on the hit list lately. There was a couple that were being assassinated, which is why it took us, an entire chapter to get into Blacklake.
Yes.
But we have some levels to gain, so I'll just go through those quickly. Chandra is very straightforward, just continuing to raise her heal skill in case I have her use a medkit, and give her greater specialization with short sword. It's kind of a strange weapon.
I think it is time everyone marched behind me, your new glorious
Oh, shut up, Sand.
leader.
Shut up! Sand, I'm just going to keep raising his tumble skill. Eventually, every 10 ranks of tumble gives you a point of AC, so it's not a big deal, but it's nice to have. It's worth pointing out that Solipsism here, which is one of the newer spells that I'm trying to get for my challenge, is another one like Glass Doppelganger that does not have a scroll coded. So if you want to use it, you have to learn it yourself. I know it's sort of annoying, and it's just something I'm going to have to deal with, I guess. I'll pick up Greater Shadow Conjuration and Bigby's Grasping Hand, just for the sake of just purely random spells I need for my challenge.
Oh, yes.
And Grobnar. Grobnar's really out of skills that I care about. Use Magic of Ice and Perform are obviously things I'm just going to have him keep raising, but there's not any point in continuing to raise the crafting skills. I can craft anything that's worth making. I'm just going to have him increase his sleight of hand skill in case I end up picking up Pocket with him. And I'll have him pick up Ethereal Visage and switch out one of these spells for something a little less useless. Wow. Bards really get a lot of marginal spells, but I'll have him pick up Mirror Image. Keep him alive a little longer. I'll rest up and rememorize spells and be right back. Off to talk to Nasher. I said we would be back to Castle Never too much, but yeah, no, it all happens now. Alright, and they set up some guards, and Naval has nothing to say. We'll have some chats with Naval later, but... The estate is, of course, on the far side of the Blacklake district. You couldn't actually get a mission from Castle Never that would actually take you to someplace on the west side of Blacklake. Now, that would make too much sense.
I'm sorry, my lord, but the girl must leave.
Oh, come now, look at her. Look, pretty girl like that would keep any man alive and well, even a spotty old ward like me. That is what Nasher wants, isn't it? To keep me from dropping dead, huh?
Lord Nasher is concerned about my lord's well-being, in light of the recent deaths of my lord's associates.
Bah! If Nasher cared about my lord's well-being, he'd buy me a potion of youth. Failing that, he'd send me a harem. 84 girls, one for each of my years. Yes? Maybe? Soldiers. Milia, my dear, I insist that you come back and play for me again. The night after next, perhaps.
My lord is very sweet. I'd be honored.
Okay, well, seems like she's not the assassin. Anyway, this guy will introduce his squad, and they're going to barricade the house, and we're going to take a look around first. And I'm just going to have everybody wait back here for a second.
Hold this spot.
They may jump up for this conversation, but inside this barrel here are a bunch of blast globes. And you can just sort of take a look at them for, just a little peek can't hurt. Gives you some influence with Grobnar and a lot of damage. But that's what our Ring of Regeneration is for. I might have to help that Ring of Regeneration along if we're, gonna get there, but no reason to use actual consumables. And you can tell him to go upstairs and then talk to Captain Ballard, and there's apparently some blast globes left. You can give various orders for how to sort of set up the house defensively, and this is something they could have done more with. It doesn't matter a whole lot.
Hells take your good spirits. I tell you, Weatherly, there's an ill wind tonight.
Aye, but you smelt it first, Guff. 'Twasn't me who had the double helping of beans.
Bah! Why can't Black Ballard pair me with Finn for a change? At least I have some quiet. There's a foul smell on the air, Weatherly, and a stillness I don't like.
What in the hells?
By the gods!
Not the gods, I think. Weapons to hand, boys.
Okay. And I'm going to have them stay here and guard, and I will go out exploring a little bit. But I'm going to buff up first. I'll be right back. We could have actually explored the upstairs earlier, but there's not actually anything up there. You can't loot the place, unfortunately.
Attack!
You can,
Attack!
I forgot you can pick the pocket of the Lord guy for an emerald, but nothing real important. And demons are coming in. So, demons are cold iron susceptible, aka they resist everything but cold iron. So, we're just going to have to... One of the sort of downsides to archery, one of the many downsides to archery, I guess I should say, is that there are no cold iron arrows and there are no alchemical silver arrows in the main campaign. They did add them in the, I think it was Storm of Zahir that they added them. And I'm going to have the guards here sort of fall back. And again, as usual, we can ignore friendly fire on them, so I'll just throw an acid fog at that group there and deal with that. Disintegration. Despite what the Emperor commanded. Well, I guess that wasn't the Emperor, that was just Darth Vader who was commanding the disintegrations. You can actually explode the blast globes too, but I'm not going to mess with them too much. The guards don't actually die, but they will get splattered pretty hard. Oh, I guess there's another wave coming in. Now, my main character's weapon is alchemical silver, and, well, it doesn't do that well, shouldn't do that well against these, but it's got all these damage bonuses, so it does just fine. I have Chandra and Grobnar using cold iron weapons, so they should be doing okay. The Mephits, it looks like, don't actually have a protection against that. No. And he says to go upstairs, and I'll do that in a second once I clean up. Upstairs, it looks like the guards I left are still fighting off the enemies. You can't rest in this area, by the way. So even if you wanted to try and get some new spells, you can't. So be careful with your spell usage, I guess, but man, these methods aren't that hard. Alright, well, let's just talk to Taverick. Apparently he has a crypt on site, and so he wants to hide in it. Kind of a morbid thing to do, but I'm going to have everybody hold back here, actually including my entire party, so that if something funny happens, they don't creep up on me. And clear the way to the stairs, and then go down. Back in the main hall, looks like the fight's still going on. Now, we have quite the army here, and I'm going to gather them up briefly so that I can haste all of them.
Glorious leader. Yay, let's attack.
You can rest upstairs, and I guess there's a big group of fire methods here. I'm going to cast Mass Contagion. Just another one of these spells for the fun of it. And then I'll cast Extract Water Elemental on one of these fire methods. Or, well, I guess I won't, because it'll die too fast. Quite a lot of drops on that. I don't know what that was. Maybe that was one of the succubi? Anyway, the crypt is this way, and we will have to go down there next time, because we're running out of time, and I'll meet you next time down in the crypt, and nothing ever bad ever happens in crypts. Never.